In the first scramble, Oliver does yellow V, and he just solves this yellow bar, and then he brings that up, so it's a really easy 2-move V, and then he just has L4E. So yeah, no mistakes on this solve. It was pretty good. Got a 1.41. The turning could have been a little bit faster, but at your level, I think it's fine. It was like around 70 PS. On the scramble, Oliver does green. He starts off by solving this blue-green and pairing it up with the center. And he makes the bar, and then he just inserts that, and then he does this, and does the L4E. So your solution on this scramble was pretty bad. You did a lot of moves for your V. You could have done the green V like this by pairing up the green-blue, and then bringing up the green-red and pairing it up like that, and it gives you a better L4E case. But also another thing is when you inserted this, you could have rotated and it's already in position to do the L4E, but you did that and then rotated and did that again, so those moves were kind of redundant. So try to know the AUF like that you have to do. Don't try AUFing too early before you recognize the cases. Your alternative solution that I did was I brought this yellow-blue down and paired it up, and then I made the bar, and then this yellow-green can go there. Now I have this L3E, and you might notice that the first move of the L3E is a sledge, and then I actually can cancel into it like that, and do L3E like that. On this solve, Oliver does red. He starts off by solving all the centers, and then he brings up the center and puts down the red-blue edge like that, and then he can bring the red-yellow over here and solve it, and then he just gets a nice L3E case. So on this solve, the scramble is pretty bad. So your solution wasn't that bad. It could be done fast, but one thing I did that I think could be a little bit faster is I did green V, and I started by pairing up this green-blue like that in 3 moves, and that sets up this green-red to be paired up when I bring down the green-blue, so I can do that, and it gives me this easy L4E case. But I can actually look ahead a little bit further, and right here, the first move of this L4E case is that, so I could actually cancel and do it like that. On the solve, Oliver does yellow. He starts off by bringing down this yellow center here, so now that the yellow-blue and yellow-red are set up to pair with their centers in 1 move, then he can just solve the V like that, and then he just has this L4E case. So your V on this scramble was pretty good. It was, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4 moves. So looking at some alternate solutions, one thing I did was red. So I brought up this red-yellow down so I can pair it up like that. And then I brought this red-green down so I can pair it up. And that just gives me an easy L3E case. Another solution that was pretty similar to what you did, but it was just like 1 move better. So on green, I can bring this green-blue here, and then bring that up, bring the green-yellow, and put it down. And that gives me this L4E case, which I think is the same one you got, but I don't have to AUF. So yeah, that just saves 1 move. But overall, your solution was pretty good for your level. So yeah, just keep up like that. The turning was pretty decent. You got a pretty good time, so yeah. On the scramble, Oliver does yellow. He starts off by pairing up this yellow-green to its center, and then he solves this center, and he solves the bar, and he rotates and inserts this yellow blue to make the V. Then he rotates again and does L4E. Okay, so this scramble really isn't great, but your solution was pretty bad. So you rotated 3 times, which you never want to do in a solve. At most, you want to rotate once. So a better solution that I saw was doing yellow, and what I did was I brought this yellow blue up to here with L prime U prime, and then I saw that this yellow green was over here, and I could pair it up with this center if I did L, and here I had to do a B move, which isn't great, but in this solve it works out. So then I have this, so I can bring them both up, and then I have an L through E case. So some overall tips for you. Your turning is pretty good for your level. I think your tips could be a little bit better. It seems like you don't, I'm not sure if you plan all of them in inspection, because it didn't look like that for some of them, but you still executed them decently well. So just always have a plan for your tips. Know all the tips before you even start your solve. Also, your solutions could use a good amount of work, and I think that will just come down to practice and doing a lot of pyraminx FMC. I would recommend just going as much in inspection as you want, just to find the best V in every scramble, like look at almost every single V and just do that one that you did think was best. Also, I think you could benefit from learning some ML4E algs, because for a lot of your solutions, your V's, you would end up with L4E on like the left or the right, and you had to rotate. And for a couple of those cases, there were some ML4E algs that would have made the solve better. So yeah, I think you should start learning ML4E since you're nearing the sub 3 level. It will be really useful later on.